Good morning. We're going to call the Ramsey Col Board of Commissioners meeting of April 11th, sorry, to order. I don't know what day it is.
Okay.
Right,
Freda? McGuire?
Here.
Moran? Ortega? Reinhardt?
Here.
Jean?
Here.
And Maris Castillo.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I'm going to turn to Commissioner Moran for our land acknowledgement this morning.
All right, good morning. Every community owes its existence to, let me start over. Every community owes its existence and vitality to generations from around the world who contribute their hopes and their dreams and energy to make the history that led to this moment. Some were brought here against their will, some were drawn to leave their distant homes in hope of a better life, and some have lived on this land since time immemorial. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connections across all barriers of heritage and difference. We are standing on the ancestral lands of the Dakota people. We want to acknowledge the Ojibwe, the Ho-Chunk, and other nations of people who also call this place home. We pay respect to their elders, past and present. So please take a moment to consider the treaties made by the tribal nations that entitle non-Native people to live and work on traditional Native lands. Consider the many legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and settlement that bring us together here today. And please, join us in uncovering such truths at any and all public events.
Thank you, Commissioner Moran. We have the agenda for April 11th, 2023, presented for approval. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Moran?
Present.
Ortega? Aye. Reinhardt?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
Freda?
Aye.
McGuire?
Aye.
And Maris Castillo.
Aye. We have the minutes from April 4th, 2023, presented for approval. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Moran?
Aye.
Ortega?
Aye.
Reinhardt?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
Freda?
Aye.
McGuire? Aye. And Maris Castillo.
Aye. And next we have our proclamation of the 2023 National Public Safety Telecommuters Week. Commissioner Ortega will present the proclamation and will be joined by many of our 911 call center staff and Director Nancy Paz. It's good to see you all.
Good morning. Whereas the Ramsey County Emergency Communications Center provides safety, dispatching services for all law and fire departments within Ramsey County. The Ramsey County Emergency Communications Center is committed to aligning with county's core values through dedicated work, including the Appropriate Response Initiative and the Race Equity in Action training. And whereas the Ramsey County Emergency Communications Center usage of advanced 911, text to 911, and radio technology ensures the prompt notification of peace officers, firefighters, and medical services within Ramsey County. Whereas the highly trained Ramsey County Emergency Communication Center telecommunicators and public safety dispatchers process nearly 1 million calls each year, many of them critical to the protection of life and preservation of property with integrity, compassion, and professionalism. The exemplary work of the communications training operators, the technology team, and leadership maintain both smooth day-to-day operations for continuity and long-term planning for continued progress. And whereas telecommunicators are a vital link for our first responders by coordinating their responses and ensuring scene safety by providing them with up-to-date and accurate information then obtained from callers in highly stressful situations. Now therefore, be it proclaimed, the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners declare April 10/14/23 as Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Ramsey County. And be it further proclaimed, the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners commend the 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year, life-saving work and devotion of the employees at the Ramsey County Emergency Communications Center who work to keep our county and residents safe.
Excellent. Good morning, Director
So
Paz.
I'm going to set this right here. Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioner Ortega, Commissioners, County Manager Ryan O'Connor. First, I really want to take an opportunity just to have everyone introduce themselves.
Yes.
That's okay?
Please, yes.
Thank you.
Hi, Laura Espy, Manager, working with the Appropriate Response Initiative.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Brenda Abla. I'm a 911 telecommunicator and an instructor on the training team.
Natalie Simonette, telecommunicator at the Emergency Communications Center and working on the Appropriate Response Initiative as well.
My name is Jennifer Schmidt. I am an admin assistant and also working with the Appropriate Response Initiative.
My name is Shar Webby. I'm an administrative assistant, also working on the Appropriate Response Initiative.
Hi, I'm Jameson Puffer, and I'm a fire and medical dispatcher and currently a training instructor also.
Excellent. Thank you. Welcome to all of you.
Great, thank you. Thanks for taking time today to recognize the efforts of the Emergency Communications Center and supporting all the work that we do. This time of year, during National Public Safety Telecommunicator Week, I am reminded what an honor it is to lead a department in Ramsey County that has a direct effort and impact on the communities we serve. I feel it really important to have you hear from a few of our team members today, as they truly represent the voice, but are rarely seen. So we'll start with Brenda Abla, and if you remember from the March 7th board meeting, I read her story. I could barely get through it, right? So I'm gonna hand it over to her, and then we'll also hear from one other team member.
Excellent. Thank you. Welcome again.
Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. I want to take the time to thank you all and giving me the opportunity to be here and be able to tell my story. As you know, I am Brenda Abla. I have been with the Emergency Communications Center for 6 years now, and absolutely love what I do. Prior to the positions, I have no background whatsoever in law enforcement and anything related to it. I graduated high school, and that is the highest education that I accomplished. My prior positions were front desk receptionist in retail, so really the closest thing to a 911 telecommunicator would be my customer service. When I applied for the 911 telecommunicator position, I truly just thought of it as another job, never imagined my career here. I am fortunate enough to be here at the Emergency Communications Center, 6 years strong, started training new telecommunicators a year into my position, and now proudly an instructor on the training team. I'm honored to be able to teach and lead the new telecommunicators and being able to express my passion for my career. I've also had the privilege to be a part of the interview panel for our new hires, and it is an amazing opportunity to be in that, so I thank Nancy for giving me that opportunity. I guess, sorry, I'm a little nervous, so give me a moment here.
You're totally okay.
My growth, that's what I really want to talk about. My growth has truly surprised me. It's inspired me to do more. I have been able to truly feel a passion in the work I do, especially as a woman of color, with English being my second language. Excuse me. I am proud to be a representation as a Hispanic woman, raised by immigrant parents, with no degree whatsoever, and having these opportunities and more to come. I truly hope I can be it's an honor to be up here, making my parents proud, my family, and my community. I truly hope I can be an inspiration to others like me. And as I grow, I'm learning to use my voice for others like myself. So thank you for having me in honor of Telecommunicator Week and representing my family or my fellow telecommunicators back at the Emergency Communication Center, which is our home. So thank you once again. I will now hand it over to my amazing coworker, Natalie, who also has a pretty awesome story to share on her behalf.
Thank you, Brenda.
Good morning. My name is Natalie, and I am here in my 4th year of being a telecommunicator at the Ramsey County Emergency Communications Center. I feel blessed and honored to stand before you all today as a proud representative of the team of unsung heroes that I'm fortunate to call my coworkers, teammates, and partners on the job. In the last year, I've been on special assignment dedicated to the success of the Appropriate Response Initiative and community engagement. This work has reignited my passion for learning about people firsthand rather than over the phone. While focusing on community engagement for the Emergency Communication Center, I'm so grateful to be freed from the console and able to really engage people, to see their faces, whether joyful or painful, listen to the stories and experiences without the urgency of the next call hurrying the process. In growing these relationships with the community, I've been able to help in ways I never truly imagined previously. And for that, I say thank you. And I will echo Nancy's message of thank you to the board for your acknowledgement in the work we do. Your support means a lot to us all.
Thank you. County Manager O'Connor.
Well, thanks, Nancy, for opening it up, and to everyone who's here today. Your stories are important, and other people are living their stories oftentimes in their lives in the phone calls you're taking every single day. I want to acknowledge just the difficulty of the last few years, and for both of you who said for the length of time you've been here through one of the toughest stretches probably in the history of the Emergency Communications Center, and spending time with colleagues across the region and just hearing about the challenges in even keeping their teams together during those tough times. I'm proud to say here that was something where we've been stressed and we've been strained like everywhere else, but this group never broke. And that's a big deal. And you've had a really tough number of years, and we're glad to get to recognize you here today because you've been there through it all as well. We appreciate that. Thank you for showing up and bringing your stories here today as well. You did make Nancy cry again, so she's 2 for 2, and we'll keep it going. But from all of us here, we want to thank you, and we don't get to see you every day because you're over nearby on that campus doing the work 24/7, but a great acknowledgement from us all here with the county.
Yes. I'm holding back my words because you've got me, Brenda. Sorry.
Can we say something?
Yeah. Commissioner Moran, thank you.
So this just reminds me when, I'm doing all this onboarding and it's exploding. But the community, the Emergency Community Center was one of those places that I visit in person and had the opportunity to sit down and listen to Nancy and others, but also go and see the work happening in the diverse class of individuals that were participating. And what I thought when we are in a state that is really working towards being more diversified and looking at equity, looking at race equity, and I thought to myself, and I might have said it out loud, that the Emergency Communications Center is living that out, right? One of the things that I learned was that often we set perimeters of who is qualified to do this job. And what we do is that we weed out a lot of people who could be qualified, who could be trained into these positions. And that is what the Emergency Communication Center did. They just kind of like eliminated this standard that they'd had that was really eliminating a diverse pool of individuals to work in an Emergency Communication Center. And the beauty of that, I believe, and not just the Emergency Communication Center, is that in all things, is that when we diversify the workspaces and the places that we're in, we begin to learn about each other and the value that we all bring into a place. And I think that's important, that we are able to do that and see the value and the richness of individuals and their country and their place of heritage, and making our parents proud, as Brenda talked about, you know, to come from an immigrant community, to come from, you know, to have her immigrant parents be so proud of you, you know. But that is what I'm seeing happening here within Ramsey County, you know. And, you know, we got a long way to go, right? But I think we can be a model for many of the other counties about how we can do this and see the value in all people. And we can. I don't like, my husband would kill me if I say the word train. Like, he's like, you don't train, you train animals, you educate people, right? So I better not use the word train, just in case he's watching me. But it's really important that, that we do create these spaces where we can bring in others to be a part of the work we do, and do it successfully, and do it with grace, and do it with experience and expertise. So thank you. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda and Natalie, for sharing your story. And thank you all for being a part of the Emergency Communication Center.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Commissioner Moran. You know, I also just want to say, you know, we have an opportunity because you have one of the most difficult jobs in the county, and because of that, there's some turnover because it is really taxing, and we have the mic. So Nancy, maybe you want to do a little commercial plug about hiring, because I will tell you, my nephew is on the rotating internship. And he just spent some time with you all, and he was so excited. At family dinner on Sunday, he was sharing these great stories, and he has applied, and so has his girlfriend. Just putting it out there, but it was because of the work that you all did, and I wanted to just share that you're making a real impression on young people, and they're excited about this work, and so just wanted to give an opportunity for a plug that we're hiring and that people should apply, because it really is a rewarding career, as we've heard today, and we don't get to see your faces, but your voices soothe us. All right, picture. Scott, you want to get in there?
Just want so we can balance the people. Just the front is in the middle.
Oh.
Perfect. Excellent. Congratulations. All right. I'm going to turn to Commissioner Moran for our administrative items.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair and members, I would like to move item 4, the repurchase of a tax forfeited property located at 2740 County Road E, west in New Brighton, Minnesota, 55112. I would like to move item 5, a property purchase for a Lake Links Trail project. And I would like to move item 6, funding for critical needs requests. Can I get a second?
Second. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Yes, County Manager O'Connor.
Madam Chair, I just want to thank Finance and everyone else who worked on the critical needs piece for, last year we didn't, as we've been trying to change this process, make it more transparent, bring it back as the general fund pieces as you're closing out year end. I think last year was August when we did this, so we've gotten it moved way up, which is where we want to keep it. I just want to acknowledge everyone's work in doing that, and This is the second time you've seen it like this. Last year was the first time we had a long conversation about how we're doing that to be more transparent, make it very clear, and I just wanted to call that out.
Thank you, County Manager O'Connor. Commissioner Reinhardt.
Even though we're not pulling things, we're just talking about them apparently. I will point out that the property purchase for Lake Links Trail Project, Lake Links is a project that is trying to go around White Bear Lake, and it's been really a community effort. And so, quite frankly, piece by piece, this is a small portion of it, but each part of it, as we're going forward and at the legislature, has been really critical, and the partnership with community, with the people within the community, and also the city and township have been just phenomenal.
Great, thank you. With that, we'll move to roll call.
Moran,
Aye.
Ortega,
Aye.
Reinhardt,
Aye.
Zhang,
Aye.
Freda,
Aye.
McGuire,
Aye.
and Modis Castillo.
Aye. We'll move on to our legislative report. And as you know, the legislature was on a short break last week, and so they are resuming now. The omnibus bills will have stops in the Finance Committee and the Senate Ways and Means in the House, and a lot will be happening this week, and then they'll shift to floor sessions for debate. Our government relations staff expect conference committees to start at the end of the month or right away in May. Expect to be contacted by them, our team, for assignments and to make sure we're continuing to do our work to talk with our legislators as well. Thanks to Jenna Rourke and Melissa Finnegan for their work on that. I'm also excited to share with you, I think some of you received an email late yesterday afternoon from Jenna Rourke, but Congresswoman McCollum's congressionally directed spending requests that we submitted have been chosen to put forward, so it's moving in the process. The two were $2.9 million in Ramsey County Emergency and Public Safety Communications Network replacement, so these are radios appropriately timed today and this week, as well as $3.9 million for the Rice Street Revitalization Project. So if you get a chance, I think we'll see Congresswoman McCollum this afternoon, so we can thank her when we see her. And we haven't heard yet on Senator Klobuchar's or Smith's are moving forward, but traditionally they have supported those projects coming out of the congressional offices, so we're hopeful there. Next up is the House Appropriations Committee introducing their bills and then moving them to the House floor, which we expect in June or July. So it's a good first step. I don't have anything else on legislative reports other than be ready to answer those phone calls, emails, and visit with our legislators as you get those assignments. Great. Any additions? All right, thank you. Next, we'll be moving to County Connections. County Manager O'Connor.
Thanks, Madam Chair. 3 updates today. Just a reminder, you all received an email yesterday from Deputy Director Susan Earle about the 2024-25 budget information and listening session that the Finance Department is taking the lead on going on tonight. This is a new piece to a broader strategy of continuing to find ways to reach out to the community throughout the budget process. And the timeline was laid out. The event will run from about 6 to 7:30 this evening. It's at Union Depot. There is also a virtual option. I believe the budget chair and vice chair are coming to say hello and be there to listen on behalf of the board. We'd love any and all of you who are able to come. A couple of different pieces that we'll walk through. Some of it is just the broad understanding and contextual setting of Ramsey County's budget, where the money comes from, where it goes, what does it look like from a tax burden perspective compared to other counties around the state, things like that. Another component is that when we are having conversations formally as a part of the truth in taxation process late every November, one of the challenges we have heard, I'll just say I've heard every time in 10 years of going to that event here is, it is now too late for me to do more than ask questions about my property tax statement unless I want to go to tax court, which brings in its own set of challenges and procedural hurdles. I always want to start by pointing out, our assessor's office tracks data around accuracy of assessments. They do a wonderful job. It's all measured. It's a part of our performance measures. It's something that you'll continue to see as we go. But there's a lot of properties in this community, and things can happen, and it's important to have time to review those with an assessor when possible. Tonight provides another opportunity to do that. The difference being, now is a time where if you have a legitimate question around your assessed value and you have a concern then about that value, you could then raise that concern formally before being told it's too late in the process. And so tonight opens up that opportunity. So it's a chance for learning about the broader budget context that Ramsey County operates within. It's a chance to have a conversation that it's sort of like a piece from Truth in Taxation, moved to a different part of the year, and trying to learn from the challenge of the timeline. And then also there's some time for open discussion to hear from people who come. We always want to hear what their thoughts, concerns, encouragements might be. And so we'll open up the mic as a part of the process. If you have any questions, we're together all day, let me know and I'd be happy to share more. And Susan's here as well. I want to give her credit. She's worked very hard to pull this event together and add it to what finance is offering as their part of the budget. From the week of April 3rd, I wanted to point out, we're talking service centers now. Should maybe set the context of what we're talking about. We had 257 residents served on an average daily count in our service centers. And so that was on, excuse me, let me restate that. It wasn't for the weekly average. It was Monday, April 3rd, saw a record number of people. 257 people were served on that Monday in our service centers. And I think the more important part is, and on the day we saw our highest number we've seen since moving to an integrated service model, the average wait time was 12 minutes. As someone who used to work out of the East Building, as someone who spent a lot of time in the East Building, and that was not an integrated approach to how we were doing this stuff, an hour would have been something that very frequently would have been a reality to what we would have seen 5 years ago in service. And so to see wait times at 12 minutes in environments where people feel much more comfortable sitting, using the technology we've been bringing on to queue lines, this is progress we've been talking about manifesting itself on the ground for people coming in. It's but one of those steps. There's a number of different pieces going on, but I want to give a call out to enterprise services, financial assistance services, workforce solutions, social services, and child support in the county attorney's office. All of those areas play a role in the service centers. And frankly, one of the things that I think is most important for us to look at is people were waiting too long, right? And we've talked about that here. And the idea of getting served quickly, particularly for people who have a lot of needs in that moment when they're coming in, is a really big deal. So thanks to the team. Keep it up. Much appreciated. And we'll continue to share more information as we go. It's also a sign that people are becoming more comfortable about learning about where our service centers are and beginning to access them. And then finally, in the Above and Beyond Awards during March's National Procurement Month, so this is from the National Cooperative Procurement Partners. They put out their awards. I wanted to highlight that our very own procurement manager, Dana Nofke, was recognized as a part of this work. And I want to, as part of our broader procurement work that's been going on in Ramsey County, Dana has joined work through the National Association of Counties and some national work happening in both an effort to bring the good work happening in Ramsey County outward, but also to learn from other places that have broken through some of the barriers that we've continued to see. So just a little bit about the blurb in here referencing Dana. She's taken on additional tasks and leadership responsibilities for a special project at the county called Procurement Modernization, which you've heard about now a number of times in the past. The purpose is to transform cradle-to-grave procurement process to be more user-friendly, efficient, and equitable for Ramsey County. As a team participant, Dana has suggested and implemented changes thoughtfully considering the voices of those that the county works with and serves, as well as the broader community and Ramsey County employees. Just a few of the changes include eliminating requirements for professional and client service agreements to go through as many process steps, no longer requiring the same ways that we publish in multiple spaces, which, while in some ways when local newspapers were the only way, that was okay, but there's a lot of different ways now that we're putting that information out. We've brought down those insurance requirements, making them more affordable for small businesses. I think if we all had heard, if we had $1 for every time you've heard about onerous insurance requirements, you'd all be able to meet the insurance threshold probably by now that we used to have. And informing communication plans to increase the ways in which we solicit our notifications going forward. Dana has accomplished all of this while maintaining a welcoming team environment that's allowing her staff to grow and succeed. And the person who nominated her finished with, I don't know how she does it all. But I want to give credit to Dana. It is, for procurement is a rules-based environment. I don't think Dana's here today, so we're acknowledging her virtually. You're all looking around for where is Dana? Dana's with us on this picture today, and I know that she's watching today, and so I just wanted to give her a shout out. It's always it's a challenge when you've been in a profession for a while and you've been taught these are the way the rules work, and then you have others asking you to rethink and continue to lean in and lean forward. And that entire procurement modernization team is doing great work, and Dana plays an important role in it.
Excellent. Good. Commissioner McGuire.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just on that point, County Manager, thank you for bringing up Dana. So I've talked to the people at the National Association of Counties, and they are so excited that Dana is a part of that group that's working nationally. They love having her on the team, and we know she's doing great work here, but she's also helping learn and educate them nationally as well. So thank you.
Thank you. And I'll just end with the point that in appreciation of the board's moving forward today on the disparity study piece, we have talked about the need for a disparity study to take the next steps in our procurement modernization for a while. It's a technical statutory step that Ramsey County needs to take that it has not previously taken. The critical county funding today that was allocated by this board allows us to move forward in that step. And we're going to keep working on modernization, but quite frankly, unlocking some of the statutory tools that are available that we have not availed ourselves of in the past is a big part of that. And instead of waiting for the next collaborative disparity study to take place across the region, we moved independently, and today's vote here at the board solidifies that. So it was a good day to talk procurement.
Excellent.
Thanks, Madam Chair.
Thank you, County Manager O'Connor. We're going to go to outside board and committee reports, and we're going to start with you, Commissioner Zhang.
I have nothing to report.
Okay, excellent. Commissioner McGuire.
So thank you, Madam Chair. It was a holiday weekend in a number of religious faiths, so I hope everyone had a good time with family and friends. I'm continuing my rounds with my local elected officials, and it is such a great experience to be talking to all of them. I know we all visit with them at different community events and everything, but just to have the one-on-ones has been really, really helpful to me. So thanks to all my local elected officials who are taking the time to meet with me, my city council, my mayors, and I'm going to start with school board next, and in the communities that I represent. Also on last Thursday, I was honored to be able to present the Ramsey County Climate Change presentation. Commissioner Reinhardt was also on the call, as was Elizabeth Dolzman and other Ramsey County people, but it was to the Minnesota Climate Smart Municipalities, which they're going to add counties to, I understand, binational meeting, which was Germany. We had people internationally from Germany on the call and people from around the state of Minnesota learning about our climate change action plan, which Commissioner Reinhardt, Commissioner Manis-Castillo, all of us are, very passionate about, but thanks to, presentations that had been previously put together by your teams. And everyone was really impressed that we were doing what we're doing and that we're on target to get great work done. I called it a works in progress when I presented it, because it's something that we are working in, we're continuing to work on, and I know we're going to continue to hear more about that as a county. I know there's work being done. We're going to have workshop and things on this, but it was great to get out where we are so far on our climate change action. So I was grateful to be able to do that and then present some of the work that we're hoping to do at the state and national level as well. So also just want to give a shout out at Roseville Rotary yesterday. We did we heard from Bridging, which Bridging is, as many of you know, they take household furniture and supplies. They like gently used but quality items that they then offer to people who really need them in the community through a selection process that Ramsey County uses, refers people to there. But they are always working hard to gather items, and then they give them away. People get to come and choose, and a very dignified experience going to their warehouse, which is actually located in Ramsey County in Roseville. So just a shout out to Bridging and the great work that they're doing. Also coming up this week, there's Friday is Ramsey County League of Local Governments. It's Commissioner Reinhardt's one of your great topics, and actually all of us care about this. I know Commissioner Fretham and Manis-Castillo. It's on garbage and trash. Yes. So different communities are going to talk about, I think, their collection process and how we manage that. So it'll be a great meeting. It's on Zoom. It's at 7:30 in the morning. So just to remind people that these are great Zoom calls, are great meetings with our League of Local Governments, which includes all of our cities and school districts in Ramsey County.
And on that, Commissioner McGuire,
Oh, yes.
actually our staff will be presenting
yes,
on
thank
our
you.
organics recycling rollout in our pilot projects that morning as well. So
Thank you.
We'll be joining that.
Thank you for reminding me of that. I don't have all
Yes,
of that on here.
that's
So
terrific.
great. Yes, we're going to be presenting on our organics rollout, which will be exciting. And then just a shout out that this week, Thursday through Sunday, is the Ramsey County Library, Friends of the Library used book sale, which is going on. So if you want to get any, they have great deals on getting great books, supporting a good cause, which is the Friends of Ramsey County Libraries. So
Excellent.
Yes,
Thank you,
thank you,
Commissioner
Madam Chair.
McGuire. Commissioner Ortega.
No report, Madam Chair.
Excellent. Commissioner Fretham.
Yeah, just a few items. I was able, thanks to Workforce Director Ling Becker for inviting me to come out to the CERT event held at the Shoreview Community Center last week. Was happy to come out and see Ramsey County as well as the City of Roseville working with some of our small businesses to get to know one another. And thank you for letting me come out and welcome everyone. Giving a shout out to Tom Ock, Ramsey County employee who joined the board of CAP-RW. Last night was our first meeting, first committee meetings as a new board, and he did an amazing job chairing the finance committee, which was his first finance committee meeting ever on CAP-RW, and he was the treasurer chairing it. So great work there. And then thanks to Van Ness Heights Council member Catherine Dalcani for reaching out and sitting down and having some coffee and just talking about city-county issues. I'm always willing to meet with the many, many city council members and township board supervisors in my district.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Fretham. Commissioner Reinhardt.
Thank you. Well, some of the things have already been covered, but the binational meeting, it's a group that I've been part of for quite a while, and they have talked about the fact that it's not just the municipalities, it's the counties as well. And we've got a number of county commissioners that have joined in to that discussion, but I did tell Commissioner McGuire that they had translation services so that she didn't have to learn German overnight. But it is truly Germany and our group here through the University of Minnesota, and it's the knowledge and the trading of information and what you can learn from each other is really pretty amazing and a lot of fun. I attended the Ramsey County Environmental Service Center open house, and that was up at the Shoreview Library. And we're moving forward. Before it was, okay, this is where it's located, and now we're talking more about what's going to happen within and trying to gather input. And it was a good turnout and a really good discussion, so it was fun to be part of that. I also, I think last week talked about the fact that the Clinic 555 services, that there was going to be a Zoom call on that, and I did participate in that, and I think others were on the call as well. So you did have something to report. I'm sure there were a lot of things that you could have reported on. But it was really well done, and I'm really glad that I was able to participate. And then I have the talking trash has been really happening a lot here. And so when I was at the Maplewood City Council meeting last night, I was talking about, or introducing, I guess, the subject of the organics, composting, and the pilot project that we have, because Maplewood has one of the areas within it. North St. Paul and Maplewood are the two pilot project areas. And so everyone's really excited about it, and I think the common theme that we hear, and you'll hear on Friday morning, I think as well, is, okay, when can it be in my neighborhood? When can I get it here? And how long is this going to take? And but I think, the fact that we've got technologies and the way that we've been able to move forward with things, and that ties into our climate change, equitable climate resilience as well. It's an exciting time to be in this area. The other 2 items are going to be for the Rail Authority.
Excellent. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Renner. Commissioner Moran.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I'm excited to report in that I was able to present a proclamation to Gordy Willis Kirk, who turned 100. That was the best,
It's a
right?
big deal.
And just to have, community members help me coordinate this, but also come to a local restaurant, Golden Time, in the Rondo community, with his retirement buddy showing up. And I brought a cake along, but it was also just really, Gordy is, he was raised in the Rondo community, he's a community legend, and he's a veteran. And it was just great listening to all of his stories about the war. He's 100 years old, but his mind is sharp. Just a sharp guy, gentleman, Mr. Gordy. I talked last time about presenting at the Capital Pathways. They have an intern program where they hire young people of color and put them in positions within the Capitol or other business entities that's working at the Capitol, and they pay them, right? Because we know young folks of color cannot afford to do a free internship. So that was critical for them to take them on and ask those different businesses to pay them for the internship. But I had one of the young men, Jose Avino, who set up a one-on-one with me. And it's like, it's always good if you just touch one person's life in some type of way that they come back and want to hear more, but also for me to hear from him and learn from him. His journey, it was really, really fantastic. Let's see, just a couple of other things. I participated in the NACO Justice and Public Safety Steering Committee, which was really good to hear the work that we're doing nationwide. They did an overview of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security Blue Campaign. That was nice to learn about that, and they had some legislative updates that was happening. And again, I just want to mention the loss of another community legend, Vic Rosenthal, and I'm working on a proclamation for his family.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Moran. So we have a busy agenda today and lots of things going, so I'm going to move us right on to our agenda. We've got, following this meeting, we're going to go down to room 220 for a closed session, and this is closed to the public because it's a legal issue. Oh, wait, first. We have a regional rail meeting first, and then, thank you, Commissioner Ortega will lead us in a regional rail meeting, and then we're going to go down, following that, downstairs to room 220 for a closed session. And then at 12 o'clock, we have our Building Owners and Managers Association meeting at the Doubletree in downtown, so we'll walk over there. And then later this afternoon at 1:30, we have the ribbon cutting for the Gold Line along with our federal delegation to celebrate. So with that, we're adjourned and we'll move to Regional Rail.